Hello, everyone. It's Viv Liu here with Uber Freight. Thank you so much for joining us for our webinar today. I am going to be your moderator. Let's give folks a couple more minutes to log in, register, and join us, and we'll get started shortly. All right, everyone, let's get started. Welcome to an Uber Freight webinar. Once again, I am Viv Liu. I am your moderator for today. If you haven't been to an Uber Freight webinar, welcome. And if you haven't heard about Uber Freight, a little bit about us, we're the most powerful end-to-end logistics platform offering managed services, logistics solutions, and technology solutions to help reimagine the way goods move to help communities thrive. Today, we serve more than 8,000 shippers with over $17 billion of freight under management. We've also helped build one of the largest freight networks alongside more than 130,000 carriers. So really quickly, a snapshot of some of the topics we'll be covering today. First, we'll talk about the state of the full truckload market and opportunities that lie within for you. And if you're shipping full truckload, why shipping with Uber Freight could give you an edge. We'll also give you a live walkthrough of Uber Freight's shipper platform and show you best practices in action. And then last but not least, we'll have a live Q&A. So drop your questions in the chat throughout any time in this webinar, and we'll get to as many as we can. Also, I want you to stay until the end of today's conversation because we have something special waiting for you. Now I'd like to introduce you to some of our speakers. They'll also reintroduce themselves as they come on camera to share their best practices, learnings, and perspectives with you. Today, I've got with me Olivier Coase. He's the head of shipper platform and shipping less than truckload at Uber Freight. Also with me is Casey Martiak, who is on Olivier's team and it covers all things sales development. And I'm Viv Liu. I lead shipper product marketing here at Uber Freight. Now let's dive into the state of full truckload shipping. So if you're curious about what's happening in the world of shipping full truckload and you've been in our industry, you know that this industry is not for the faint of heart. Our market is highly cyclical and the soft market conditions are continuing. Today, I'm going to give you a snapshot of what's happening on the demand side as well as the supply side of full truckload. These are previews of what we're going to share in our monthly freight market updates. They are available across our social channels as well as on uberfreight.com on a monthly basis. And also, if you'd like a deeper dive, we also have a webinar coming up for that as well. But let's jump in. So first, full truckload demand is stagnating. We saw flat demand December to December of last year. However, as of February, demand is now down about 1.6% from last February. Meanwhile, supply rose about 6.5%. We did see a short spot surge towards the end of the year, which is pretty expected for our industry given the holiday season and also variances in weather conditions and the need for us to adapt in terms of our capacity planning and our freight planning. But now let's look at how supply is responding to shifts in demand. Now, the key things that we look for when it comes to supply are three things. First, net authority revocations. also newly granted authorities. This helps us look at how supply is shifting up or down. And then last, we look at the shifts in trucking jobs in the market. Are trucking jobs entering the market or are they exiting? Are carriers entering the market or are they exiting? This helps inform our knowledge of supply in order to cater to demand. So what we're observing here is for the 5th month in a row, net authority revocations have exceeded newly granted authorities, showing that carriers are exiting the market. I'll talk about why possibly in a couple moments. We also observed the largest decline in payroll trucking rules since April 2020. What this could point towards is that supply is responding to and recalibrating to meet lower demand alongside increasing and high operating costs, especially along the long tail of supply. Now, what does that mean for us? When we think about what that means for our industry, there are 3 key opportunities here that sit for us. First, if you've been through a soft market before in our industry, you know that as a shipper during a soft market, this is the time to always prepare for rebound. What comes down must go back up. And so as we're not fighting for supply right now, and we're able to take advantage of recalibrating a lot of our costs and controlling our costs, now is the time to really think about making adjustments in our technology strategy and think about investing in and deploying operational enhancements to our supply chains. Next, think ahead to get ahead. Start planning for the future. We know that right now, supply is shifting very rapidly, but also this is a time to build relationships. Building and reinforcing relationships with carriers that we already have relationships with, as well as looking at ways to forge new relationships and tap technology in order to be able to source carriers quickly and rapidly in the future as the market starts to retighten, which we know it will, given the cyclical nature of our market. Last but not least, we are all in this together. Right now, controlling costs is on everyone's mind. Everything from recalibrating our shipment costs to reducing deadhead, making sure that we're adopting new yet tried and true methods while securing capacity is going to be really important. Using the tools we have in our tool belt as well as adding to our tool belt is going to be key. Now I'd like to turn things over to Olivier to talk about the benefits of shipping with Uber Freight as one more tool you could add to your tool belt.
All right. Hi, everyone. Olivier Kos, leading the shipper platform product at Uber Freight. Okay, so if we go to the next slide, I'll provide a quick overview before going over to the best practices and tips for using the portal. So first of all, what is the product? It's a one-stop shop that gives you instant access to one of the largest freight carrier network. On it, you can ship truckload, LTL, and flatbed within domestic US or domestic Canada. We have over 130,000 trusted carrier partners. And then you can quote, book anytime, 24/7. And again, I want to reinforce the one-stop shop nature. You see all the tracking info, you see all your invoices, you have one login, and you can manage all your freight all in one place. We've really spent time on making the experience as seamless, the product as easy to use as possible and fast also. So again, you'll see more details on the best practice just now. Handing it over to Casey to walk us through.
Hello, I'm Casey, and I work on the shipper platform team here at Uber Freight. I'm excited to spend the next couple minutes talking about some of the best practices of using the platform. We'll do an overview of the platform, focusing on some key features such as load tiering, tracked lanes, and bulk quotes. We'll briefly touch on booking LTL, and then we'll show some other areas such as tracking and payment on the platform. Awesome. So when you first sign into the platform, you're going to see a screen that looks like this. This is the home page or the dashboard of the shipper platform. You should see your name listed here and your company name in the top left. Now, before we touch on the dashboard, let's talk about actually booking full truckload and LTL. So we'll begin by clicking the Create Shipment button here at the top. That's going to pull us into this page. Now, first we'll cover booking spot full truckload. As you can see in this box here, we're currently offering 53-foot dry van, 53-foot reefer, and 48-foot flatbed trucks in the full truckload space. Now, once you select your truck type, you'll enter in your pickup and drop-off locations in these boxes. If you have shipped on the platform before, it's going to save your facilities in this dropdown for you to easily select them. Another way for you to easily populate your pickup and drop-off facilities is by scrolling down to the bottom to this area called Lanes for You. Now, this is going to save shipment lanes where you've shipped shipments in the past, and you can click on one, and it'll pull that information in up at the top. Now, after selecting those, the next option that shows up is our load priority option. This is a new feature allowing you to categorize your load as low, normal, or high priority. A low priority load is going to come with a slightly discounted rate. However, that pickup and drop off might shift by a few days. On the other hand, high priority loads are going to come with a small fee, but it's going to increase the coverage of your shipment for the days that you selected. Now, it's best practices in standard instances to use the normal option in the middle. So that's what I'll do here. Now, right below that, we have our pricing calendar. Most of our full truckload trucks are going to show you 2 weeks of pricing information every day, showing a slightly different price, like you can see here. Now, you can take a look at the day and price and select which works best for you and your company for that pickup. For now, let's say I want to go with April 3rd. Now, once you select that, the calendar is going to shift and show you every potential drop-off day for that shipment, and you can select which works best for you. I'll stick with April 7th. Now, if this pricing is not what you're looking for, or if you're just looking to get price quotes, it's great practice to use the feature here at the bottom, Track Lane Prices. This is going to take time off of your hands and your company's hands, as our system is going to automatically run that price quote on that lane, and you will get up to 1 email a day if that price improves by at least 5%. So again, if you're shipping on that lane frequently, use this feature to have our system monitor that price for you. For now, let's go back and say I'm good with April 3rd to April 7th for this shipment. Moving on to the next shipment page, we're going to confirm the appointment times for pickup and drop off. Now, if you have shipped at these facilities on the shipper platform before, it's going to save those preferences that you had previously inputted. But of course, you're always able to edit them. Clicking edit here, we're going to want to make sure that there's a facility contact name, phone number, and email address inputted. Down below, you're able to select that appointment preference. First come, first serve if no appointment is necessary. The middle option is if your company has already scheduled that appointment, you can input that information here. And the third option is if you need our team to schedule that appointment for you within the given time range. We'll reach out and make sure those appointments are booked. You'll do the same thing for the drop-off facility here. Now, on the full truckload side, you have the option for a driver assist at the bottom here, where your driver will help to move pallets and load and unload the truck. You can select that if you want to add on this service. Once everything is all set, you'll go ahead and book this full truckload shipment, which is going to take us to the last page of the booking process, where we'll finalize some shipment details. You'll enter in your customer reference number, as well as the weight, let's say 40,000 pounds on this one. The commodity, I'll use water bottles. The packaging quantity and type, let's say I'm shipping 20 pallets on this shipment. Right below, you'll enter in your pickup and drop off numbers. And we have these boxes here for additional notes. Now, if your facility or your shipment has any additional notes or instructions, you'll want to input them here. As you can see, we have listed drivers must use safety glasses. Anything you input in these boxes will be seen by our team, and we will action them accordingly. Once everything is all set, go ahead and finalize that shipment. And this shipment has been successfully created. So moving forward, our team is going to finalize those details and get any appointments booked. We'll then release this shipment onto our carrier app for a driver to directly book. And of course, we will step in with coverage by our specialists if needed to ensure that everything is delivered successfully. So now we covered booking a spot full truckload. I want to talk about 2 ways to book higher volume in the full truckload space on the platform. We'll look at bulk quotes, and then we'll look at lanes with locked rates. Now, the bulk quote option here is a way for you to quote and book multiple shipments up to 50 at one time. You'll begin by downloading our Excel template here and quickly and easily filling in the information. Next, you'll go ahead and upload that file and choose which to book. Let's take a look at how it works. Awesome. So after uploading the template here, it's going to instantly populate price quotes in the left-hand column here, and you're then able to select and deselect which shipments you want to go ahead and proceed with instantly booking. Again, up to 50 at one time. So it is a really good practice for you to use this feature if you're booking high volume. Now, in the middle of the page, we have another way to book at a higher volume, which is our lanes with locked rates. Now, this is personally my favorite feature that we have on the Shipper platform, and I want to show you why. Now, this is a tool that you will use if your company is shipping on the same lane again and again and again in order to lock in a rate. To begin, you would enter in your pickup location. Let's select one here and drop off. You'll then specify that truck type and then commit to a volume of shipments to be tendered on the platform. I'll say I'm doing 10 shipments a week. And then when you want this locked rate to start, I'll say March 27th. And I want it to end, let's go with the middle of May, a 7-week term. Now it's going to populate a price quote here on the right. We see that is around $4,500 per shipment when shipping 10 loads a week on this lane. Now, the reason this is my favorite feature on the platform is because that rate is locked in for your 7-week term. So if spot rates do jump higher, you're guaranteed this rate that you locked in. And of course, we are going to apply priority coverage to all of the shipments booked on these lanes with locked rates. Once it looks good, you can go ahead and lock in that rate. So now we talked about booking full truckload, both spot, bulk, and lanes with locked rates. Now I want to shift gears for the next few minutes and talk about how we book LTL on the Shipper platform. As you see here, LTL is now available, and we'll click the blue button to proceed. Now, booking LTL does look very similar as booking spot full truckload, and we'll begin the same way by entering in our pickup and drop-off location. Right below, we'll choose our preferred pickup day. Let's say I want pickup to be on April 3rd. And on the right-hand side, you will see a map outlining the lane of this LTL shipment. Right below, we have our shipment information that we need to enter. Now, it's great practice to use the feature we have here on the top right, the item catalog. So if your company is shipping similar LTL shipments again and again, this is a way for you to save that commodity information one time and apply it to future shipments instantly. Let's take a look at how it works. So we'll begin by creating a new item and entering in the description here. Let's say I'm shipping water bottles. And with my LTL, let's say I'm typically shipping 4 pallets. I would enter in the weight, dimensions, class, and the information here and create a new item. Now it's going to save this item here back into my item catalog, and you're able to save as many as you need to. Then when it comes time to book, you can select that item, and it's going to instantly populate the information back on the shipment page that we were just looking at. It's a great practice to take a slower amount of time when booking LTL. Right below, we have the LTL accessorials. So it's important that you select any accessorials you need on your LTL shipments at this step in the process to make sure our team sees those and actions them accordingly. For now, let's say I need a liftgate at my pickup and I need a liftgate at my delivery. And we'll move on to see our price quotes. So our system is going to take all of the information that we just inputted and generate some LTL price for us. Great. So as we can see here, this is our shipment that we were looking at from Texas to Connecticut on April 3rd. And this instantly showed us 11 LTL price quotes. We see on the left-hand side the carrier name, we see the maximum liability, some estimated delivery and transit times, and we're able to choose which one works best for our needs. Let's say I'm good with the first option here and I want to proceed with booking. Now this page is going to pull up our finalized shipment details page where we're going to confirm our facility information and pickup windows. Now for the pickup and the drop-off locations, let's say I'm good with 8:30 to 8:30 and I'm good with what populated 9 to 5. Right below, we have the option to input any special instructions in regards to our shipment and our facilities. Again, it's important that we input this information here so that our team sees that and is able to action it. Right below, input any reference number, sales orders number, or anything you need to identify your shipment. Right below, we have a new offering coming to the platform, our option to add additional LTL insurance. So if the LTL freight you're moving is of a higher value, you'll want to select this top option and specify the amount of extra protection you need on your shipment to ensure everything is covered for you. For now, we'll say I'm good with the base amount and I want to book this LTL shipment. Great. As we see here, that LTL shipment has been booked. So now that we've covered booking LTL and we previously looked at booking full truckload, I want to now come back to that homepage, our dashboard that we first saw when we logged in. Now, this is a place for you to monitor all of your shipments tendered and booked on the shipper platform. You're able to break your view down here based on mode. We can look at just full truckload or just LTL using the buttons here. We can further filter down based on all shipments, maybe shipments that are in progress, future, or previous shipments. I do want to look at this needs attention tab. Now, it is best practice to keep your eyes on this area here, as it's going to have shipments with urgent information that we want to communicate to you. You see in this example shown, the shipment is delayed, and we want to let you know and make you aware of that. So keep your eyes on that tab. Now let's take a look at what it looks like when a shipment is in progress or on its way to delivery. This is what a shipment page looks like. You see that lane at the top. And on the left here, we see a summary window box. Right now, it's showing us that that shipment is in transit to delivery. On the right, we see a tracking map showing that lane and the route from pickup to drop off. Scrolling down a little bit, we see on the left-hand side, shipment activity. Now, this area is a timeline of all updates in regards to this shipment. You see there's several tracking updates. You see when the shipment got switched to in transit to delivery. And it is good practice to come to this timeline first before, reaching out to see where your shipment is and what's going on. On the other side here, we have our carrier information, we have our rate, and then we have a document section. Right now, the bill of lading is available for download, but we'll have the invoice here. You'll find any relevant documents in regards to this shipment in that area there. As we scroll down, we have shipment details, we have pickup, and we have delivery information. This is all of the information that you inputted when you were booking this shipment on the platform. Back up at the top, I do want to call your attention to the 3 buttons here at the top right: share, duplicate, and get support. Now, the share button is a way for you to share this shipment information with a third party without them having to log into your account. So it's going to generate a unique shipment link that you're then able to send over to perhaps your customer or your drop-off facility, anyone that needs to know what's going on. This is what that page is going to look like when you send them the link. They'll see the lane, they'll see that summary information box, and they'll see that tracking map. They'll also see shipment details, carrier information, pickup, and delivery information. Now, I want to highlight that some of the sensitive information, such as pricing rates and the documents, are not available on this link, which is why it's a great thing for you to send to any third party. In the middle, we have the option to duplicate. So if you're shipping another shipment, say on this lane San Francisco to Redwood City, this is a way for you to quickly and easily get that shipment booked with the same information, saving you time. Now, the third option here we have is get support. You're able to request a callback, email our support team, or call our support team directly with help on anything in regards to this shipment and your account on the platform. So now that we've covered booking your shipment, we've covered monitoring your shipment on this homepage, as well as monitoring the shipment specifics on that tracking page, I want to now shift gears and talk about some other areas that really make the Shipper platform that one-stop shop. We'll look at facility insights, we'll look at referrals, and we'll look at some billing information. In this dropdown, the top option here, Insights. Let's dive in. Now, when a carrier picks up or delivers at your facility, they will have the option to rate that facility. Those ratings, along with average dwell times, are compiled here for you to review. And it is good practice to continue reviewing this information, as Uber Freight research shows that the transportation rate per mile is actually impacted by the ratings, as carriers take that into consideration when choosing what shipments to book on the Shipper platform. So you'll see your ratings and your dwell times here. Now, if we go down to the next drop down, we have referrals. This is a way for you to get a discount as well as give a discount to a friend at another company. So you would begin by entering in their name, their company, and their email address and phone number in this box here on the right. Our system is then going to send them an email invitation to sign up for the Shipper platform. If they sign up and book their first load, they will get $500 off of that truckload, and you'll then get $500 off of your next. You're able to monitor all of the invitations you've sent, their statuses, as well as any earnings you've been rewarded through this referral program right here. So now we've covered some other features like insights and referrals. Let's take a look at billing. Again, our goal is for everything in regards to your freight to be on this platform, including paying your invoices. Right here, you'll see all of the invoices listed. You'll see their statuses and their amounts. Over here on the right-hand side, you'll see what your total balance is. You'll see Uber Freight banking information, and you'll see how to make a payment in this summary box. Now, back in the dropdown, I want to navigate over to settings. This is a way for you to now customize and personalize your use of the one-stop shop platform. You're able to pick and choose at what point in the shipment process you want to be notified via email. You can choose which steps are important for us to send an email to your inbox, and you can break it down by full truckload and LTL to really customize your communication from Uber Freight and from the platform. Now, if we go over on the left-hand side, payment settings is where you would upload a credit card if you chose to pay that way. And right below, price tracking settings. Now, if you remember when we were looking at booking spot full truckload, I highlighted track lane price, where our system will email you if that price gets 5% cheaper. You're able to track all of the lanes that we are monitoring for you in this area here. So now if we hop back in the dropdown, I want to show our FAQ and our help section. FAQ, an area for you to find commonly asked questions. And our help section is a way for you to easily contact our support team. You can request a callback, email, or call us directly, and we will help with any and all questions you have in regards to your freight and your use of the platform. So now we looked at booking full truckload, both spot and bulk. We quickly touched on booking LTL. We looked at this summary page where you'll monitor your shipments, as well as a shipment tracking page. And then we touched on some other areas that really make this a one-stop shop: insights, referrals, billing, and custom notifications. Hopefully you see how the Shipper platform is a way for you to easily and efficiently manage your truckload and your LTL freight. Now I want to pass it back over to Viv, who's going to continue the rest of our webinar session.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Casey, for sharing best practices with us and walking us through Uber Freight's shipper platform. I'll keep this really short. I've got 3 takeaways for you when it comes to all things shipping full truckload. First, now is the time to use technology to your advantage. As we have time to think about recalibrating our freight portfolios and start planning ahead, start thinking about incorporating new technologies and new solutions in order to work faster and smarter, as well as to save more time and money in this market condition and across all market conditions. There's also an opportunity here to optimize. A one-stop shop is one way to keep it simple. And then last but not least, we're all in this together. When we're thinking about where the market is, where it's heading, being able to guide and support each other, try out new tools and share best practices, that's the way to go so that we can drive our industry forward and all keep shipping. So now we're going to move over to our Q&A portion. We've got a number of questions, and I would like to invite both Casey and Olivier back to help us answer a number of these questions. We're going to cover as many as we can, and then I'm going to wrap us up with some takeaways, next steps, and then our special gift to you. So my first question is for Casey, and this question is from Will. So Will asked, do you provide frozen freight?
Yes, we do provide frozen freight. As you saw when we were looking at selecting our full truckload, we have that 53-foot reefer available on the full truckload, and we have LTL refrigerated available as well.
Great, thanks, Casey. All right, next question is also for you from Carla. Do you provide service from US to Canada?
So at this time, we don't have any cross-border freight available, but we do have within Canada available. So Canada to Canada or US to US to US.
All right, US to US and Canada to Canada, everyone. Okay, next one. This question is from Peter, and this is for you, Olivier. Is your platform available to freight forwarders and 3PL providers? If not, do you happen to know if this is planned? For some reason, I am not hearing you, Olivier. Give us one moment. All right, can we try this one more time?
Do you hear me or?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Perfect, sorry. Yeah, so I'll just repeat, sorry. Yeah, so we accept freight forwarders and 3PL providers, but we're, cautiously looking at booking activity because we want to see loads being transacted on the platform, not just quoting activity.
Great, thanks for that, Olivier. Next question is also for you. Does Uber Freight provide drayage? And this is a question from Ravi.
So not on the platform directly, but we do have a unit of Uber Freight that can help with drayage, and we also have external partners. So please email us your needs, and we can see how we can help you with this.
Great, thanks. And then one more for you. How do I ship Uber Freight LTL? I've only seen truckload on my app. This is from Jason.
Yes, so normally everyone should have access to LTL on the button at the top, like Casey demonstrated. There's a scenario where you might not have access if you just got onboarded to the platform and the account for LTL is still being set up. So that could take anything between 24, maybe 48 hours. So if after signing up and being onboarded on the platform, you don't see LTL for 24 hours, please reach out to us and we'll figure it out.
Great, thanks, Olivier. And then I'll take this question from Megan. Megan asked, do you plan on having an LTL webinar? So Megan, thanks for your question. We actually did host one LTL webinar last year, and we plan on having one again in the near future. And then we'll also send you a link to this recording after today's webinar, so you can see how to ship less than truckload. But in the meantime, if anyone has any questions at all related to shipping less than truckload, send an email to LTL less than truckload -UF, Uber Freight at uber.com. And we'll include those informations also in our follow-up email. All right, next question is from Alyssa. So Alyssa wants to know, I do not have load priority in my end. Do you know when that will release? Can you use low priority for loads that have appointments?
Yes, so good question. We just showed load priority. It's a new feature that we've been testing with a number of customers over the past few months. It's going to be released more broadly to everyone in the coming weeks. So that's probably the reason you didn't see it. And on your question, so low load priority requires flexibility on the drop-off date of about 1 to 2 days. And so if you do have appointments, we would recommend using the high priority then, especially if the date is not flexible. So.
Great, thanks for sharing that insight, Olivier. Alyssa, I also saw your note about feedback around editing facility information and the need for that information being pulled across to your other loads. Thank you so much for that feedback. That's super helpful. Keep sharing feedback with us. I will be passing that on to our engineering team. All right, next question is from Joseph. Thanks, Joseph. So this is for Olivier. Do you have an option for full 26-foot truckload?
So not at the moment, but we're always exploring what new service and mode we should offer. For example, we're looking at parcel at the moment. And so 26-foot truckload is not on the roadmap now. But again, like if you have a need, please email us and we'll get in touch and figure out, are other customers having similar needs? And if that's the case, we'll look at really offering that mode.
Great. And then one more question for you, Olivier, from Carrie. Do you insure the freight?
Yes. So Casey showed quickly the LTL insurance feature that we're expecting to roll out in the coming weeks. The thinking here is we'll start with LTL because it's the biggest need for LTL insurance. And then based on results and how it's working, we might expand it to truckload. So you might be able to insure truckload shipments in the future. But as a first step, we'll start with LTL.
Great. Thank you. And then Jose asked, do you cover Canadian cities? Casey, do you want to take this one?
Yes, good question. So we just touched on it. Right now, we are covering domestic Canada, but again, we can't do that cross-border. So in domestic Canada, we can cover.
Great. Thanks, Casey. I've also got another question for you. This is from Timothy. Do we need class or NMFC codes?
Awesome. Another good question. So our class is required for LTL. The NMFC code is optional, but it is recommended for the LTL shipments. You'll enter that in when typing in your commodity for the LTL shipment.
Great. Thanks, Casey. All right. Another question from Peter. This one's for you, Olivier. For LTL bookings, are you able to schedule same-day pickups? I realize that LTL carriers don't guarantee pickup dates, but just want to know if it's possible.
Yes, good question. So we are able to schedule same-day pickup, and we actually have a lot of shipments every day on same day. The only condition is make sure to book it, ahead of time. Rule of thumb is usually 1 p.m. If it's before 1 p.m., there's a chance we can do same day. If not, it will roll for the next day. What else? Yeah, and so again, you're right that there is no guarantee on the pickup dates. It depends on the carrier availability. And then just to keep in mind, historically, LTL on-time pickup rates have been in between 75 and 80%. So every day, about 20% of our shipments roll to the next day. As a team, we're trying to provide a lot of visibility on which shipments are rolling, but just want to make it clear that the standard for LTL as an industry is quite different than truckload. Yeah.
Thank you, Olivier. All right, a question here from Megan. This one I'll give to you, Olivier. My company is located in an urban area and have had selected drivers cancel on us in the past. Oh, that's never fun. Is there a way to get a list ahead of time of trucking companies who are willing to come to our location for pickups?
Yeah, so that's a super interesting question, and we'll look in the data to see what happened here. So we're not able to provide you a list of carrier, but what we can do is, based on the load tiering, the low, medium, high priority feature that Casey just showed. I think if you're able to select high priority for an additional fee, we'll sort of put extra attention on making sure that the carrier shows up on time and the delivery happens on time. So that should solve it, hopefully.
Great. All right. Next question is for Olivier as well. This is from Amanda. Do you offer API integrations for TMS and its broker customers?
Yes. So we have truckload API today. So you're able to quote tender through your TMS. And we're very close to rolling out to our first test customers the FTL API, which will enable you to, again, quote tender, track, etc., through a TMS too. So please get in touch with us if you have a need on any of those APIs, and we'll discuss next steps.
Yeah, thanks, Olivier. All right, we're down to our last few questions, and then we'll also plan on covering future questions in future webinars and communications touch points with all of you. And also feel free to shoot us an email if you have any questions ever. I will be providing that email in a few moments. But to wrap us up, a couple more questions. This one's for you, Casey. Does your platform handle multiple pickup addresses in one load?
Another good question. So right now we're only supporting one pickup location per shipment on the platform.
Great, thanks. And then last, any tips on report customization? Olivier, I'll toss this one to you.
So we can do it on so besides the Insights tab that Casey showed that gives you some information and also the ability to download all the information on your loads, we could work out with you some specific customized reports. Just reach out to your sales rep or account manager, and then we'll take it from there and see how we can help.
Great. Thank you so much, Olivier and Casey, for helping with Q&A here today. And thank you for everyone for your questions. We see so many of these questions, and we want to make sure we are going to address them in some way. So hang on. We will be getting to them in future forums. But in the meantime, I do want to be respectful of everyone's time today and jump to wrapping up with next steps. So there are a few things I would love for you to try out. If you liked what you saw, if you learned something new today, that was the goal of today's webinar. If you have questions, we have answers. You can email or call us anytime at shipper-support@uber.com. We also have a phone number where if you call that number, a person will pick up. We are going to help you answer your question 24/7. The next thing is, if you haven't signed up for Uber Freight yet and you think this one-stop shop is going to be able to help you save time and money, sign up. Go to uberfreight.com/freight/platform/join us. There's a button there that allows you to sign up in less than 5 minutes and start shipping and booking your loads. You can also get instant quotes as well. And last, here's our special gift to you. If you haven't booked your first load yet, you have until 11:59 p.m. on April 7th to use an exclusive code. This is only for folks who have joined us on our webinar today. You are now an FTL Pro. Use that code, add it to your load notes to get $250 off your first full truckload shipment. Remember, that's only valid until 12:59 p.m. on April 7th. So use that code, enjoy using the platform. If you have any questions at all, we want to make this as easy for you as possible. And so give us a ring, shoot us an email. We're here to support you. Once again, thank you so much for joining us to learn all things about saving on every FTL shipment with Uber Freight. And we look forward to seeing you in our next webinar. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone.